How you guys doing? Good. Good to see your smile today. Thanks a lot for sharing it. And so I was going to continue on with what I was doing. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up?
I got rid of
Oh, just sitting.
This is James.
Hey,
Okay.
I'm Joshua.
Hey Joshua, good to meet you.
Yeah.
Jim Byron.
I
Jim?
mentioned
Yeah,
something.
Jim Byron.
Jim?
Jim Byron.
Jim Byron.
Yeah.
Musician.
So, what's your mission here?
Oh, just share, challenge, just bring social media concepts out to the public instead of them being, kind of quarantined on the computer.
Quarantine on the screen?
Yeah.
There you go.
Cool. Well,
Yeah.
let's check this stuff out.
Yeah, sure.
Do you have a petition?
No, I don't do petitions. I just, want to make sure that people get to
Is this like-
right to choose.
It's a good crowd here.
Oh, are you?
So-
Is this flat Earth?
Yeah, I'm a flat
Yes.
earther, yeah.
Oh, wow.
When you look into it, find out.
Well, I
It's
think there are
interesting.
explanations to some of the more convincing phenomenon that I've seen.
Mhm.
But, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Like when you shoot a laser across the sea, there
Mhm.
should be a curvature to the laser,
Mhm.
but there isn't.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, there's displacement of the laser because it can't keep that fine point forever, right?
Yeah.
So you need a pretty
This is
powerful
cool.
laser.
This is it reminds me of like Green Day. aesthetic.
Yeah, thanks.
Need more
Yeah.
powerful lasers.
Mhm.
And
Well,
you
I don't
talk
think
to
the
them
Earth's
about
flat.
water.
I think the Earth is actually like a hypersphere.
Hypersphere?
Yeah, it's a hypersphere.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like there's a fourth
Sort of like
dimension
a
of space where
toroid?
everything is like flowing through.
Like a toroid?
Like, but I don't know what that is. Yeah,
Okay.
it sounds like it might be
Sure.
what it is.
Like something in the center, but it's coming out and going around like that?
Kind of, sort of. It's
Sure.
a weird shape. It's hard to visualize.
What is like if you were to put something to it, like create something out of wood or plastic, what would it look like?
What do you mean?
I mean, that's a globe right there. They made that. That's what people believe they live on.
Right.
The majority of the people here. But
I think it would
nobody's
be-
ever seen that from outer
I think
space
it would be
before.
kind of like
James,
a.
no one's ever seen it from outer space. It's all, can you tell them it's CGI?
Yeah, I mean,
Technology
it's
that they
painted.
use. It's
So-
all the images that they have.
They were
Okay.
predictively
That.
programming
Hold on,
people
I
into
wanna-
the
I wanna
globe
answer
in
his question, though. I want to
1927.
answer your question. Like,
Yeah, sure.
So the shape I think is like a donut, right? But it's like an infinite series of donuts that are all like combined into one.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So what do you think about like parallel universes and like multidimensional so on and so on?
Yeah. Well, I know about a alternate dimension that I've discovered myself through my own work in physics. It's based on the relativity.
Okay.
And the idea,
Relative to who?
relativity to like gravity. And,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, gravity is not real.
And but
It's not
let's
real.
see. Well, the idea is like the way a black hole is.
Have you
Is
seen a
that-
black hole?
Personally.
I've seen pictures.
Yeah, those are images on
In
a
a movie.
computer. That's imagination. It's plausible imagination because they use numbers and maths to create reality through that concept. It's not real. It's not tangible.
It's pretty interesting, man.
I mean, it's
You're
that's
putting
why they
into
call it
everything I know
hypothetical
about physics,
physics.
He's into science quite a bit.
Yeah.
But
Well, there's a lot of people who are into Mormonism and
Yeah.
other religions too.
Right.
Are you live streaming
Yeah.
Yep.
right now?
You're on.
Yeah, on Facebook.
Cool. What's up, everybody?
Hey, yeah. Just looking at me right now. I was just kind of easing into the day. It's the first time being out. I figured I'd come out on Easter, and start doing this.
Well, I'd like to look at some more.
Yeah, if you
detailed
want.
information.
There's some information here about NASA.
So
They
is
actually.
the whole universe flat?
Well, thing about it is for me, I feel that the Earth is a flat level, non-rotating plane that goes on infinitely forever, and the sky and the ground go on parallel with each other forever.
That's
And
cool.
Yeah, and
That
so
makes sense.
some other flat earthers feel that it's a dome, and so the center is the North Pole, which I feel it is still also, but the sun and the moon go around and there's a dome, right? So we're contained like the Truman Show, for example. But I've never gone up to the dome and knocked on it.
Yeah.
I've never gone up to the wall and been like, okay, here's the dome,
What about
right?
the sky? Where does that go to?
So, well, allegedly it only goes 70 to 80 miles high. There's a Go Fast rocket that some students at a university, non-flat Earth related, was done. Actually, I think it was done before Flat Earth, and it hit some substance, and it sounded like it hit a water through the audio from the camera. It sounded like it was water.
Yeah.
And so, if you were to humor the idea in Genesis 1, it talks about a firmament and a glass ceiling and a dome. And so, the sun and the moon are, in my opinion, no more than 20 miles high.
What about what if
very
I
small.
got $100,000, bought a ticket on SpaceX to go to the moon?
You're going to do it?
I mean, why not? What if I had that experience and then I came back and told you about it and it was like, no, that didn't
They're gonna
happen.
send it
What would be the
before.
explanation for that?
Yeah, you're assuming you can go to the moon. So, how have you proved you can go to the moon?
Well, I think the moon is there. And it's
Yeah,
not
I
that
can
far
see
away.
it. I can see it.
Yeah. So how do you?
It's
explain the moon?
238,000 miles away. Yeah, it's not-
238,000.
Yeah, allegedly.
Oh, how
So-
far do you think it is?
No more than 20 to 50 miles, just like the sun. They're not the same size because the sun is 40 times further away or anything like that. That's
How big
ridiculous.
do you think the sun is? If it was 20 or 40 miles away, wouldn't we just burn up?
Well, you're assuming that because you feel possibly that that's the globe, right? And that's where human beings live,
Yeah.
right? So I feel it's level and flat and not outer space is not real. So the sun and the moon, a couple of years ago, there was a solar eclipse or whatever, and that came through the States, I think in 2016 or 17 or something like that. And even mainstream science and some other people alternatively measured that shadow at 70 miles in diameter. So, this penumbra and umbra stuff isn't actual science. You can't have a shadow casted that's larger than the object, and then you have to use some, numbers and math. But to assume the sun is a certain distance away is still basing your idea of what things are on experts and people that you've never met before. And it's no different than why people are celebrating today.
I'm gonna put this on my fucking guitar case when I get
Yeah,
home.
thanks. I mean, check it out.
Tell them about the water.
So yeah, so
If gravity's not real, then why do things fall?
yeah, so let me just step back a little bit and get to your wanting to go to the moon and everything.
Yeah.
So you, in my opinion, wouldn't be able to travel to the moon because it's not scientifically possible. You need a solid barrier to have two separate pressure systems next to each other. Is that fair enough to say? That's something tangible that we could do?
All right, I don't really get it, but
Okay, so if we created a cube, a plastic cube that was 3 by 3 by 3, okay, and then we sealed it up with whatever we needed to seal it up with to make sure, because we're going to hook a vacuum up to it, okay? So we we seal it up, and then we drill a hole into the top of the cube, okay? So now the air inside and the air outside are at equilibrium with each other. Is that fair enough to say? So we hook a vacuum up to it, and we suck out all of the air inside the cube, and we seal it up. How do we get back into that cube?
I don't know, man. I'm not good at cubes.
Well, it's
No,
you're
it
old
sounds
enough.
like
You're old
it
enough
sounds kinda
to.
like Rubik's cube of logic. I don't really.
Man, you're old enough.
Yeah.
Stop
You're
displacing
taking
your
people's
logic.
sense.
This makes sense to you, okay? This is plausible, right? So is it fair enough to say that the pressure inside the cube is different than the outside pressure
Yeah.
that you and I are
Yeah,
breathing?
yeah.
Okay? Is that not true with outer space?
Oh, I get what you're saying. So
Okay.
the firmament, right?
Yeah. So how is it that the 14 to negative tour of space is not sucking us all out and creating that equilibrium?
Oh. So you think it's atmospheric pressure?
There's some to that, but there's also becomes a solid barrier to hold that kind of pressure.
That's cool. I like it, man. I should write a song called "Earth Is Flat."
Hey, there's a lot of good ones out there
I
to
don't
check
really.
out.
I honestly, I kind of like. I like physics. I like relativistic, like quantum physics and all that.
Yeah, but that gets into imagination.
It's
Yeah.
mysticism.
I mean, that's literally the thing I'm most interested in.
Yeah, I
is
loved Star Trek,
imaginary
man.
numbers.
I
you know?
loved it. I loved outer space. But when you find out all your images of Earth from outer space are CGI computer composites, you start to question a little bit because they're copy
Oh, I
and
get what you're
pasting
saying.
cloud
Yeah.
formations.
So if the Earth goes infinitely in all directions, Why haven't we discovered any new places?
Who's we?
Like people?
We.
I don't know. Like
You?
Just like people generally, when they see things, they tell other people about it.
Yeah.
Eventually, most people know about it if it's an important thing.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't there be like infinite places on Earth? Like,
You think they have to tell you everything, don't you? Like they just send you an email and say, hey, James, we're going to go discover a new continent that the world isn't familiar with, and we're just going to tell you first.
yeah, I kind of do.
Okay,
Expect that.
so in 1927, Universal Pictures started predictively programming the human race that we live on a ball Earth. Okay, and then they tell you that that's where you live. Okay, so if they thought, because let's say for hypothetical reasons, that they didn't have the technology to go to see itself from outside, as if to astral project and see the Earth from outer space and see the Earth in all of its grandeur.
Alright,
Okay, before that.
Geometrically, I think that what you're saying is like right. Like it does go infinitely in all directions, but it like goes in loops.
Yeah. So hold on, just bear with me for like one more minute. And so, let's just say that, because I don't know, but they didn't know that the Earth was a ball, but they're telling people it is. Okay, through history and their math and their beliefs and everything. So they get the rocket technology to go high enough, but then they hit a wall, a ceiling. Okay. What are the chances that they're going to come back and say, hey, you know what? I know we were telling you for the last 10 years that the Earth was a ball, but we shot some rockets up there and we found out we can't go anywhere. And we've gone 10,000 miles this way and we shot rockets up and we still can't get anywhere. We've gone this direction, this direction, this direction. We can't go anywhere, so everybody who thought outer space was real,
realize?
we can't do that.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to tell you that?
I don't think they're gonna say that.
I don't think so either. I think that they're very prideful, arrogant man. Arrogant
Like
man.
spaceships, space shuttles.
Yeah.
How about, haven't they been documented in being in space?
Have you documented them personally?
I haven't documented.
I haven't either. So why am I obligated to believe them? Why would you be obligated to believe the Bible or the Quran? Unless you do it yourself, that's a good place to start. You don't have to go 100% all in. I'm not going to believe anything until I see it with my own eyes.
So what's the purpose of concealing this or giving us false information?
Because if people don't know their history and where they come from and who they are, they don't know who they are. They don't know why they're here. They don't know. They think that, oh, my desires are to go to college, graduate, get a house, get married, have kids, watch sports, pay taxes. That's it. You're a battery. And so the more you want to continue to be a battery, that's cool. You know, you're all NPCs to me. But if you want to come into the inner circle and find out what's really going on and try to change things, like them injecting something that's experimental into us and changing us altogether, that's the real stuff. But it goes back to the foundation and the beginning of where we come from. Plenty of people believe in the Bible who celebrate today. But in Genesis 1, it talks about creation.
Yeah.
And nobody believes it. They think that science and experts tell us the truth because they're obligated to.
I don't think it's
You
just
believe in
experts though.
creation
Yeah.
yourself? Yeah.
I don't think the Earth is any more than 7,000, 8,000, 10,000 years old.
Yeah. The Jewish
So-
calendar, it's 5,700.
I can go with that. I mean, I can.
So then, but then there's, what about the dinosaur fossils?
Exactly.
Like people say that, oh, maybe it's a test of your faith
Mm-hmm.
that God planted or put fossils in the ground
Mm-hmm.
to make people question.
Could be. Are you an archaeologist?
No.
Yeah, I'm not either. So a lot of these people are part of a big club, and you're not in it.
This is the
I
club
think that. Oh,
confused.
sorry.
It could be. What's that?
I think a lot of physicists are actually working in good faith. You know, I don't think they're all out to deceive people. I think they're just trying to explain what they see.
It's
Totally.
You know,
Totally.
That's how
I
I
hear
am,
where you're coming
you know?
from.
Yeah, yeah.
and these equations they explain it.
They do. But numbers and math doesn't create reality. It can explain and give some interpretations and whatnot, but if somebody says that the sun is 93 million miles away and you can't go to it, I mean, then that you have to put into question everything. You have to put into question why things are the way that they are now. And that's up to you. I mean,
Even if what you're saying is true, like I think there's a way to get to the moon. To be honest, like I think there's a way.
No, it's not scientifically possible. I just tried to explain that to you.
Yeah.
It's 238,000 miles away,
So
and you're not going to do it. So what's up?
if the Earth is flat,
Mm-hmm.
how big is it?
Well, allegedly, Captain Cook went around the alleged ice wall, and it was 60,000 miles in circumference. And he claimed that he tried to keep it to his right or left. I can't remember which set one. And he kept seeing it, and there wasn't a way. They were just trying to map that out. And another guy named Admiral Byrd allegedly went through some crevasses in the alleged Arctic ice wall and saw more land that was larger than America and had more resources than what we already have. Like, he was just kind of being grandeur about it.
So how thick is it?
So, human beings, allegedly, I've never done it before, have only drilled into the earth 8 miles. It's like the movie with Eminem in it. So, anything further than that is hypothetical. So, if you want to say that the earth's core is like some gobstopper or whatever, and has these layers, you can't prove that.
You're saying at the edge of the Earth there's an ice wall and you can't move it.
Could be. I've never seen the ice wall. It's shown in some television and movies, like, some ancient, Game of Thrones on HBO. They have an ice wall there. Now, can you climb up it, walk 10 miles, 100 miles, 50,000 miles, and then drop down and there's more land and water? Can I do that? No.
So
It's too cold.
when we launch satellites, what are they orbiting around?
Who's we? Why does everybody say we? You guys don't do anything. I see you guys walk around the lake.
When satellites are launched into orbit, what are they orbiting around?
So you're assuming they're orbiting, right? So you're assuming that they're carrying anything to begin
If
with.
they're not in orbit.
Well, you're assuming that they're carrying anything to begin with, and they're making this big spectacle and this big grand spectacle with SpaceX and Elon Musk launching stuff, and they're really only high altitude balloons. That's how Google Earth was made, was using Project Loon. Type in Project Loon, it lays it out, how Google Earth was made. It's high altitude balloons at 60 to 70,000 feet. That's all it
So
is.
nobody
That's how we,
has launched satellites, everybody just launched high altitude.
yes.
How do you explain like all the technology that we use that depends on like these imaginary satellites?
Yeah, ground towers. 99% of your communication done on Earth is through fiber optic cable, which is laid out intercontinentally through the ocean, protected, and then it comes up on the shoreline into a business, and then they divvy out to you and charge you exorbitant amount of money, cap your internet usage by saying that you can only use 1.5 terabytes of information per month, which is garbage. And then they give it to you through ground towers like that, for example, that light post right there. With 5G, you have to have a light post here and a light post down there another 200 feet for them to connect to each other.
Yeah.
And so all of it is done through ground towers, and the new Elon Musk thing, Starlink or whatever, is basically Skynet. It's like, a spider web, basically. And every interlocking point of the spider web, there's a high altitude balloon there, and they can stay there stationary for years.
And these mimic the satellites, the high altitude.
Those are the satellites.
Those are the satellites.
Those are, yeah. There is no outer space. It's the environment that they claim it to be, the temperature and the materials that they use on Earth. They've never tested them before. So there's no environment for them to test the satellites here on Earth to then claim they launched them in an environment they'd never been before. So when you break these things down, you realize that there's a lot more things you have to investigate, and you have to be okay with being ridiculed and called names by other people to
I
step up.
already deal with that on a daily
know,
basis, man. Like,
gotta be
on
ready for it.
Facebook and stuff.
Indoctrination.
I like the
with
sticker,
the school
though.
system.
I'm not gonna
Explain
like
about water.
change my core beliefs like just from this conversation.
Not today.
But I think that it's useful to think of the Earth as like a flat surface that is like an infinite loop.
I mean, can you fall off the edge of the lake here? So when people say, where's the edge, can you fall off the edge of the lake? There's just more
You can fall
shorelines.
into the water.
Yeah, sure, but you can get up, and you know how to, you can't drown in 3 feet of water, I hope.
Yeah.
right? Okay, so you come up to the shoreline and then there's more land. So there's no planets, it's just more continents. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Go ahead.
There's just more land. There's no other planets. If there's aliens, they are on another landmass that you don't know about and the establishment communicates with, or they keep themselves secret, wean off technology to distract and take over the world.
That's cool. Well, I think I'm actually gonna be wealthy one day, and
Through how so?
because I'm like a musician and I write like really good songs and shit. You
Got
know?
your guitar on you?
Yeah,
You want to play a song for us?
Sure.
I mean, I can give you a couple minutes, but
yeah. Why not?
Because it could. Explain about water too.
Yeah.
Just wait with this part too.
It takes time for me to get ready, so.
yeah, get ready. I can explain. But
What do you think about stars?
And then you could keep
Um,
like right here. Or
I mean, that if you're so you're saying that what is the highest point you said on Earth? Or if that were to go straight up, what is the highest point you said was 60?
allegedly 70 to 80 miles.
70 to 80 miles.
80 miles, yeah. So you type in go fast rocket or something along those lines.
Okay.
And maybe, well, it's kind of hard to include flat Earth because a lot of garbage with flat Earth. But before you could type in certain keywords in YouTube and they'd give you some honest information. But now they steer you towards mainstream stuff. But what was your question though? Like, so you go
Your explanation of
stars?
their existence,
Yeah.
what distance are they from?
So, well, obviously I've never been there before, but I can use our own experience, like I'm sure similar because we're both humans, and use some plausibilities with you. Have you ever seen like hair gel before? Hair gel, yeah, like a bottle of hair gel, and it's got like the little bubbles in it. Yeah, so between the surface of the ground and the sky and the dome, there's that where we can exist, right? And so further up, past that barrier that we can't penetrate through, it's like hair gel, and those little bubbles are stars. And do you know what cymatics is? So type in cymatics. It's like the frequency and vibration of sound and other mechanisms, maybe even microwaves and whatnot. And if you have a flat steel surface, like maybe a foot by foot or so, and you sprinkle some salt on it, grab a violin string and then you rub it, and you do that same tone for like a minute, and then you can shape the sand or the salts there on the plate. And you do that 100 times and you'll have 100 different frequency shapes. And so that's what you, me, her, him, and everybody is here. We're all frequency and vibration.
Our existence.
Our exist. We are in an ether type environment that God created from us. That's why we walk on the ground. We came from the ground. And so the cymatics of the sky and the stars, if you zoom into them using a P900 or P1000 camera, you can see them moving within a circle, but you see them moving.
The stars.
The stars, yeah. And so they don't look at all like the cover of a National Geographic cover. And so they're just frequency vibrations, possibly in some kind of a liquid environment like we live here. We only feel the liquid environment or the ether when we feel the wind, or we run, or we're in a car. Otherwise, when it's stationary, we don't feel anything. And that's like with water, it lays level and flat. Earth is 70% water. So at what point, how much water do you need and how high do you have to be to see water curve and bend to make a ball?
And so you're saying the stars are these curves and bends?
No, I'm saying the stars are what they are up there. I'm just saying water on the ground. So I'm just trying to separate the two. So sorry if I confused you. But the stars are what I feel could be possibly entities. And those entities travel through the substance that is separated from our atmosphere and their atmosphere, and they come in. And because human beings are the highest level of existence on Earth, they would then have to manifest themselves into a human being.
Stars.
Yes, the stars. Yeah.
I've heard that before. So
Yeah.
we
So-
are an accumulation of stars, stardust, maybe. or stars.
Well, those are angels. We come from the ground.
Yeah.
So the whatever comes from above, we are not them. So it's fallen angels, angels of God, one of the two. We come from the ground. So those stars or those lights, for example, or that energy would, through seances and rituals and whatnot that they do, would take that spirit or take that type of spirit entity and then put it into a golem, like a human being that has no essence to it,
Yeah.
which they can do right now with cloning and other various capabilities.
Shaping the person.
Yeah, it's transhumanism. So they're getting us used to transhumanism. So in AI or computers, that's how they're still around. If we could get rid of technology and computer and the television, this place would be so much better. But we crave technology, you know?
You think people would connect more? to
Yes,
each
very
other?
much so. I mean, now look at it. I mean, they're wearing masks, can't even see your smile.
Yeah.
You know, so we've totally disconnected.
Right. I mean, personally, I'm like slightly on the Asperger's spectrum. I
Mm.
don't know if that means anything or not, but like, there's just certain like people that it's like I feel like everybody should be able to relate to one another at some sense, but it's becoming more and more difficult with you know it's you know I don't want to go into too much detail,
Yeah,
but
no
it's
worries.
like I think there's like just this essence that we're all similar, we're all the same, but there's a blockage that kind of disconnects people. Technology's probably the big culprit.
One of those caveats, yeah. Are you ready, James?
Yeah, I am.
You mind if I put you on camera? Is
I
that
don't
cool?
mind at all.
All
In
right.
fact, I would insist if it was polite for me to do so.
Fair enough. All right. What's your name? What are you going to play? You got a website, shout outs, anything you want to share?
My name is Jim Byron. My website is singintotheinter.com. That's singintotheintercom. Singintotheinter.com. I'm going to play for you all my song, One Hit Wonder in the Summer. I don't know if I'm gonna blow. I kinda don't hope so. I don't mind if I fall behind before I fly. My bank account is empty, and nothing I do is trendy. So I pray and I pray and I pray and I pray and I pray. God, please make me a one-hit wonder in the summer. Just a couple million views. Please don't put my picture on the news. I don't want a Grammy for this simple song. I just want somebody to sing along. Make me a one-hit wonder in the summer. On a roll, on a roll, on a roll, I've got no control. My soul is whole. In a rush, in a rush, in a rush, I've got dreams to crush or to bust. My dreams are bigger than I even really want to dream. Don't want to be overplayed, don't want to be mainstream. So I crush and I kick and I kick and I kick and I kick. I want to be a one-hit wonder in the summer. Just a couple million views. Please don't put my picture on the news. I don't want a Grammy for this simple song. I just want somebody to sing along. Make me a one-hit wonder in the one-hit wonder in the summer. Just a couple million views. Please don't put my picture on the news. I don't want a Grammy for this simple song. I just want somebody to sing along. Make me a one-hit wonder in the summer.
Right on.
Hey, thank you all very much.
Rock and
Yeah,
roll.
check out my website. You can find everything there. Like everything on the internet about me is on there. Singintotheinter.com. Sing into the intercom. Do that. Sing into the intercom. All right. Peace, everybody. Thank you.
Right on, man. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you.
of the topics about masks.
I feel like it's the kind of
Masks is
song
kind of like
that like a
now
lot of people could cover.
It's
Yeah.
You know
it
what
was
I mean?
really trendy.
It can
I
be a
like
song
it.
that like is like viral.
Yeah, it seems
like,
like
mega
Look
viral.
at
I'm
this
trying to
list
think.
of
It
masks
sounds
today.
very
I
like
wonder why, you know, and then they switch it.
Green Day kind of esque or
Blink 182.
yeah.
like-
I've
yeah,
noticed
Kinda.
that.
Yeah, not really. Like pop.
It's kind of
sounds
too bad
almost
that the
like-
mask mandates are coming up because
I played it. I
like-
played
this
it
is
like
the only
2
time that we
years
can
ago.
see these people,
But actually, the actual
for who they
recording
are.
is more like
and if they're wearing a mask,
Yeah.
how are we going to
Yeah,
know
it's
when
not
the
how-
mask mandates and the
Actually, are you
vaccines, they're going to stop wearing masks.
TikTok.
So they're going to be undercover again. So I hope
Right.
that they
youth
have to get
experience
tattooed.
life.
So then we know, like, hey, you know,
So it'll be shown on the forehead or
Hopefully.
the hand.
like YouTube.
yeah.
Which that seems like that could
Dude,
be
that was
I'll tell you what,
faked
man.
That was
or
good, man.
Yeah.
Subscribe to my channel on
easily.
YouTube.
But then they'll have the other
and I will
technology.
put the song up for you to hear all the time.
Yeah.
But when they,
Jim Byron.
Jim Byron. All right.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
Your
do that.
phone?
I don't actually. I'll have to-
Shit, are you gonna remember?
Yeah, I'll Jim Byron. My dad's name is Byron.
I got a piece of paper
Yeah.
you can write
They're
it
working it
down.
in,
yeah, that'd
you
be
know.
Because honestly, anytime someone says they're gonna remember something, I never hear back.
Skeptical.
I know, right?
The first one I sent you yesterday,
There you go,
Leslie,
man. Write it down.
from my sister.
Yeah.
The second one was from
Yeah,
Thursday
I
night
like
meeting,
that,
and
man.
then
It was genuine.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Or what should I write? Jim Byron or?
Yeah, don't write
is
on
that
that
what you?
side.
How was that?
No, I got sick in February.
Just
And
write Jim
then
Byron YouTube.
I just,
You went
Kept-
to Texas,
I'll
and
write
then
the
I
title
got sick
for you.
after I got back, yeah.
when you got
Because
back,
it's a little
Yeah.
bit much to write.
I just was slightly short of breath. I wasn't enough to have to go to the hospital or anything like last time, but
related to
CF. Yeah.
completely.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then I get sick
And
every
then-
February.
February, and it got better.
Yeah, I got
After-
better, and then I just got in a funk in March, and then
Like, comment.
I've been connecting with some people from the group, and they have other things that are going on too. Some on the weekend, and other days, like Tuesday or Wednesday night. So I was thinking of going to those.
I'll go back to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll start going back. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't mind.
If you
It just was
Like,
cold.
this song, because there's already somebody
It's too
who's in line
cold,
to cover
you
it.
know.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was with my mom yesterday.
She did.
On my recording,
Okay.
So
waiting until the actual song. But I will put it on.
the doctor's nurse said history is
Funny.
and so anyway, how it
Message to
happened.
Jim Byron
and
from
then
your past
how
self.
quickly
Remember to put One Hit Wonder in the summer, hit 7 on YouTube for my friend
Wow.
Sam to hear.
And you'll never really
So
know if they did inoculate
All
it.
right.
because they cover everywhere.
ASAP.
And at her place they do.
Not
They
even
do.
ASAP.
I mean,
Look
there
at
were
what-
so many things that went on.
Look
with
what they're
that.
doing with Cuomo and his nursing thing
what I
now.
mean?
That's all coming out.
You know when people say
Yeah,
ASAP,
they
it's
supposedly
like
had
they're
no
not going to do
cases,
it.
so
Yeah.
they wanted, you know, if it was in there
ASAP
thinking that
is
this is
guaranteed.
what it
As
is,
soon as
or if they're part of it or something, they were
yeah,
definitely
that was
put
good.
things in place and made it known that they did not. They wanted
Nice
the
meeting
mask.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Joshua.
Josh.
Yeah.
Sam. Nice meeting you.
Sam, yeah, pleasure to meet you
Do you
too.
use any social media?
Yeah, take care. Yeah, I'm on Facebook. If you just type in my name, Joshua Swift, you can.
Yep.
Are you related to Taylor Swift?
Close relative.
Yeah, she's my cousin.
That's cool. You know what? Me and her actually wrote like songs about being 22,
Uh-huh.
and like when I wrote my song, I made a joke song of it. I was actually doing an impression of Taylor Swift, and I came up with the same stuff she came up with. I don't know how that happened. It's really
Yeah,
weird.
it's
I think
thinking
that
about
we're
the same
actually
things.
connected celestially or something.
Yeah, I mean, you
Joshua
might
Swift.
want to, you know, I mean, kind of sensitive subject for some people, but
Yeah, I'm not like trying to find her or anything.
but no, not that. Astrological signs and your birth date
Yeah,
and times
we're,
the
like,
time you
we're
were born.
within 3 days of each other.
Yeah, so that might be
Yeah.
it too. You know, like if you really start to investigate things here, there's a lot more connections and things that are tangible than
You
imagination.
know what I even did? This is something that isn't actually exact proof, but what I did was I knew that Taylor Swift was going to come out with the song, so I took my version and I made a Bandcamp, jimbyron.bandcamp.com, which still exists, and I created a password that I would never remember, okay? And then I published just the lyrics of my song, and then I left it there, and I've never been able to get back into that Bandcamp. But it was published in like 2010, and because I just have, I'm like a seer. You know, I see things before they happen. Like a lot of, I actually foresaw this.
Right on, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
glad I was here to help.
yeah, thanks, man. No, well, give her my regards. Tell her, like, I think she's super cool and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Hope
sure.
she likes my music.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So what do you guys have planned today? It's Easter.
Just to walk.
Just
Just to walk. I've been so
You know,
busy for the last.
I'm busking for a
while.
burrito. Actually, I'm trying to make some money from
that could
playing
be a
music
song.
to get I need like $10 in total.
$10. Yeah,
But,
yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
You
man.
could get it if you did.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, you could set up shop somewhere and play your song and see if anybody
Get the tin
offers
fish
you money.
or here, down here
I think
again.
Chipotle.
Chipotle.
down the road. Yeah, they have. Did you see that they're doing drive-ups now?
Oh, really?
Yeah, they
No, I didn't
finally,
see
and
that.
there's kind of like some, I mean, social media drama about it, but yeah, so now there's any Chipotle that opens up, they have drive-throughs. And some have been converted into drive-throughs because of, they got to accommodate.
Right.
So, what was I gonna say? Well, it was really great meeting you.
Yeah, you too, James.
Yeah, but
Joshua.
Josh.
Yeah.
For Joshua. Which one?
Joshua.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be good to have you in my network. I need some people. You seem like somebody who respects rights.
A
You know what I mean?
Freedom.
little too much.
Freedom.
A little
I
too
think
much.
social media thinks I'm a radicalist.
Social media doesn't respect rights.
No,
No,
they respect the rights of their.
they respect their own
People.
personal liberty to do things.
They respect their rights to
They're
do whatever they
fact
want.
checkers that
Yeah.
are
Yeah,
completely one-sided.
but that's fine. I come out here to the lake, and I just document it because just for everybody's safety and get a barometer of what's going on out here.
Well, if you don't hear from me,
So-
because there's probably other people with your exact same name. There might be a lot. Look up Jim Byron. I'm the first one that comes up.
Yeah, I'm probably the first Joshua.
Yeah.
Really?
I might be.
Yeah.
I think it depends on how many connections you have and stuff.
Oh,
And who you're connected. Maybe we have some mutual friends in the area. That'll
sure,
help.
possibly.
Could be.
Yeah.
It's pretty small.
Well, I'm totally into your whole. I'm gonna call it a theory, but
Well,
yeah,
your idea is a theory too, so
Yeah.
no worries.
If you look into it.
Yeah, just
I like it. I think it's cool. I like challenging my own ideas. I don't want to take concepts of physics for granted.
And NASA's compartmentalized. So that's all.
Yeah.
And it's connected with Disney.
I think
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a Disney character one day.
Well, if you are a Disney character, your parents are always divorced or dead. So,
Oh, I don't have parents to speak of. So,
no.
actually, both of my parents. My mom is dead, and my dad is just not in the picture.
Yeah, I have some family members that passed also. But that seems to be the common occurrence in Disney movies, though, is that if there's a child or a youth in it, their parents are either divorced or one of them's dead or they're both dead. There's usually, if ever, never, a core family with animations
I
particularly.
feel like
And there's
my
antlers.
character would basically be like Huckleberry Finn with a guitar. And that's kind of what his life is like too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyways,
Where's the signs? Where
It's just too windy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is windy.
It's a little windy. It was really nice
Tomorrow.
yesterday.
Yeah, I was out yesterday. You were at Boone.
I just got caught up with some stuff and ended up going out.
Okay.
So,
Okay. You'll be here tomorrow.
I don't
It'll be
know.
nice. I'll be
We'll
out.
see. It's Monday.
It'll be nice. 80 degrees.
let's
well,
go.
that's
I have to be
tempting.
home by 6:30.
Yeah, well, enjoy your burrito.
All right. Yeah.
Well,
Thank you.
okay. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, I'll talk to
Thursday
you.
night, maybe.
Yeah, let me
But I'll
know.
be- Okay.
We'll chat.
Bye. Good.
Bye.
Good. Bye.
All right, let's give you the crowd. There's quite a crowd. It's kind of busy. A lot of, I would say the majority of people aren't wearing masks except for her. She actually put it on. Hi there.
Hi.
You don't have to put your mask on for my account.
Oh, no, that's okay.
All right.
Yeah, can I read?
Of
your-
course,
okay.
yeah. You can have this
Oh,
too if
really?
you want.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, sure.
Interesting.
You can have your
Okay.
own. So, what are you all doing? How's your Easter going today?
Oh, it's going. It's
Yeah, mine was
going.
too. It's really. I think it was nicer yesterday, but you know, there's no snow on the ground.
Yeah, it's not too
Exactly.
bad.
So it's nice for.
Yeah. Has it ever crossed your mind that outer space is fake and not real?
Can't say that it has.
Yeah, it hasn't either. Because I see a lot of TV shows that talk about space and everything, and kind of carrying on the narratives through TV and movies. But have you ever been there before?
I have not been to
have
outer
not.
space.
Neither have I. So why is it that so many people believe in outer space and everything, but they've never been there before themselves?
Sure. I mean, because it's expensive. That's
I would imagine.
it's very difficult.
Okay.
To get there.
Did you know that in the past year, the Fed Reserve has printed off over 40% of all of the money that it's ever printed off, ever, in its entire existence? So money doesn't seem to be a problem for these people. Especially when it comes to sports. They just signed a new $100 billion deal with the NFL to continue to share sports on TV.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah, so it's distraction, obviously, but
Sure.
you know, they tell us that the Earth is 23.4 degrees tilt, but every time they show us an image of it in our school books or on TV, it's always 90 degrees straight up and down. And so they don't even humor you about showing you that it looks like that.
Yeah.
So if, let's just say imagination, I don't feel outer space is real, but just hypothetically, if the three of us were to go to outer space, we ever seen this from that perspective before, the ball Earth like this? So if we're in outer space, are we looking at the Earth? Have you ever done that before?
Well, no, we've never been to outer
Yeah,
space.
right. So I haven't either. So water, when contained, lays level and flat. And no matter how much water you have, when it's contained and level, it levels off at the top. So people ask me, like, okay, so you're a flat earther, well, where's the edge? So can you fall off the edge of a lake? No, you can't. So if water lays level and flat and it has to be contained, otherwise it continues to flow, and Earth allegedly is 70% water, how much water do you need and how high do you have to be to see water curve and bend? If you've never seen it before out here, right?
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time.
So yeah,
We
thanks
should get going,
for
but have a good
stopping.
day.
Yeah, enjoy. How much water does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? Alright. Still a little brisk out here today. Definitely warmer and nicer out tomorrow. Hope she's right. I don't want to have a case of the Mondays tomorrow, but might have to come out. Alright, so this has been going around the Flat Earth community here for the last day or so. Canadian flat earther Ben Coleman busted in Freemason arson. This is by the Daily Beast, which always gives unbiased, credible, non-mainstream information to you. My goodness. It's a twister. It's a twister. So here it is. This is under their. I didn't know the Daily Beast had a extremism tab. Maybe that's a extremism tab. Yeah. So I clicked on the extremism tab, and now it's bringing me to their extremist tab. That's funny to me. So I'll give you this for your listening pleasure. I'm sure for most it'll be new to you. Flat Earther busted in Freemason arson spree. 42-year-old Ben Coleman has been charged over one blaze and tied to 2 more. He's not the first Flat Earther implicated in fires at a Masonic lodge. This happened on March 3rd, or keep saying March because it's the 3rd month of the year. This happened on March 30th, and 3 Mason lodges were burnt down, coincidentally enough. How interesting. How convenient. 3 lodges were burnt down. Less than an hour after 3 Masonic lodges burned in Vancouver, Canada, a suspect appeared to take credit for the blazes. I just cleaned 3 satanic clubhouses and nobody could do anything, Ben Coleman posted on Facebook Tuesday morning. Coleman, who's 42, so the meaning of everything is 42, I guess, has been charged with arson in one of the 3 blazes and is expected to face similar charges in the attacks on the other 2 buildings, the Vancouver Sun reported. And although police have not announced a motive in the arsons, Coleman's Facebook page contains anti-Freemason attacks that he shared from conspiracy pages, particularly pages about flat earth theory. The incident wouldn't even be the first time in recent years that a flat earther attempted to burn down a Masonic lodge. An Australian flat earther convention went off the rails in 2018 when an organizer was accused of the same crime. Flat earthers believe, wrongly, that the planet is shaped like a disc and that malevolent figures are trying to trick people into believing they live on a globe. But the conspiracy movement has not reached a consensus about who, exactly, is behind this nefarious plot. While some flat earthers blame the government or invoke anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, others falsely accuse the Freemasons, a fraternal society, of concealing the Earth's true shape. Conspiracy theories about groups like the Freemasons are not without consequence. The group has been falsely accused of secretive schemes leading to Freemasons' persecutions by the Nazi regime, during which fascists linked the fraternity to Judaism in order to allege a Jewish Masonic plot. Mark Sargent, a prominent flat earther who does not advocate arson, told the Daily Beast that Freemasons had attracted some flat earthers' attention because the group had a reputation of being a secret society while still maintaining public presence. How you doing? Good. All right. What are we taking a video, huh? Share with your friends. That's what he does. And this is what I do with a unfocused camera. Mark Sargent says a large section of Flat Earth members are grounded in the general conspiracy world, which means they are always aware of different societies that have been accused of keeping world secrets, Sargent told the Daily Beast through an email. Mark continues, I feel bad for the Masons because they are by far the most public of the secret societies. The lodges in the U.S., for example, are usually large, stone, easy to spot buildings, and in every town that you can think of. Also easy to spot were 3 buildings around Vancouver, all of which burned in the early hours of March 30th. Although no one was injured, one building was completely destroyed. Approximately 40 minutes after the first fire, Coleman wrote his Facebook post bragging about cleaning satanic clubhouses. It was unclear on Thursday whether Coleman, who was arrested in Burnaby, has a lawyer. Coleman's Facebook continued multiple recent attacks. Hi there.
Hi.
What's happening today?
Not much. What are you here about?
Oh, just talking about flat Earth. Has it ever crossed your mind that the Earth is a non-rotating level plane?
It has actually.
Yeah.
I'm not fully convinced, but I've heard a little bit about it.
Sure. What have you heard?
I've heard about the big ice wall around the outside,
Sure.
which kind of makes sense to me.
Could.
But
Have you seen it?
no.
Me neither. Yeah. And I'm a flat earther. And so I don't really agree with it per se because I haven't seen it. I feel that we're created, okay? Maybe similar to why people are celebrating today with Easter and everything. And I feel like that creator is infinite and capable of doing many, many things that are beyond our imagination. And I feel that the ground and the ceiling go on infinitely, horizontally, and parallel with each other forever and ever.
So what's above the ceiling?
I don't know. I've never been there before. But do you believe in outer space? Yeah, why is that?
Well, because people have pictures and stuff. Like
Yeah.
would it be outer space outside the ceiling? Or would it be...
Well, what's more plausible? For you and me to go to Mexico, if you've never been to Mexico, or pick a country that you've never been to but you've seen pictures of, or going to the moon or going to these other planets in outer space, which is more plausible?
Well, I guess other countries.
Yeah. So just because you have pictures done by experts and people that you've never met before doesn't make that place real. Okay. So one thing to think about outer space though is, what do they tell us it is? What's usually like the wording that they say?
Infinite.
The infinite vacuum of space, right?
Right. So wouldn't anything else be a vacuum?
Well, think about that for a second though. So if you have a pop can, okay, and it has a solid barrier, is it pressurized? Can you squeeze it?
Yes.
So you can squeeze it slightly, but it has the pop tab on it closing the pressure, right? Okay, so when you pop that tab open, what happens is the air comes in, and then the air from inside has to be displaced so it goes out, and then they are at equilibrium with each other. Is that fair enough to say?
I think so.
Okay, so these, just trying to use our own, experience, right? Okay, so how is it that outer space is real without a solid barrier? Because it's an infinite vacuum of space. Wouldn't it come into our atmosphere and displace all of our air, and now we can't breathe anymore? Because it's infinite and we only have a limited amount of air, right? So
The atmosphere, the pressure is different, so it holds in our.
Well, I think without our atmosphere, that would happen because we have our ozone layer that keeps it separate. Otherwise, we probably would be dead. Like in space, you can't breathe.
okay, yeah, hi.
Hi. Could she ask you a quick question?
Sure, yeah.
'Cause she was
I have some information here if you want to just check it out.
I'm okay, but thank you.
Yeah, me too. Thank you.
All right,
She has a question.
of course. Hi.
I saw a sign that says that outer space is fake. Why do you think that outer space is fake?
Well, I've never been there before.
Yeah, but what makes you?
Well, if I can't go someplace that I've never been before, I have to go there before I can believe it's there.
Because you didn't see it with your own.
Yeah, it's a good place to start, but you don't always want to go there. But with many imagination things like space and things like that, it's good to consider that it might not be real. So you don't want to put your heart into it and your feelings and love something that's not real.
So what is the moon, the sun, the stars?
Yeah, so they're there, right? We see them, right? But what they are, even science doesn't know what they are. And how far away those things are, I mean, if you want to believe that somebody went there, that's totally up to you. But
How are you? Hi, medic. Hi, medic. Sorry.
just had surgery.
Are you okay?
I'm hurting, but I'm okay.
Sorry.
That's why I'm coming.